Morning. It's Tuesday, February 20th. I can tell you that we continue to screw up. Congress has taken off for 2 weeks and hasn't gotten very important business done. And the most important business that I think that Congress has to do is aid for the Ukraine. So when I look at this situation, I say, what was so important for these people to go home for 2 weeks? Why can't they get this done? What is the problem? The Senate passed the bill and sent it over to Congress. And Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, is not doing anything. He is probably not going to bring this bill to the floor either. So we're going to allow an ally, true, not a member of NATO, but we're going to allow Ukraine to continue on its own to fight, which is a losing battle as far as they're concerned. They need a lot of help. Are we so ignorant that we can afford to allow a country like Ukraine to fail in the face of a dictator like Putin who kills people to stay in power? Is that what we're about? Have we lost our way? Are we so tight, so stupid as to do this? And the answer to that question is yes. And here's something many of you don't know. The U.S. Army is under increasing pressure because it is footing the bill for Ukrainian support right now. The U.S. Army has spent over $400 million helping the Ukraine. They're doing whatever they possibly can, and we have a Congress that refuses to do anything. And why? Why are they doing that? They don't believe in Ukraine? They think it's draining us dry? Well, if the army keeps spending its money, then we'll have to begin pulling money from other critical operations. And what will we say when we can't protect ourselves? The world is not our friend. So we have to stand by nations that are being destroyed. Because this is not internal suppression or oppression or whatever the hell the word is. I didn't know, and I'm sure that you didn't know, that since October of 2023 that the Army has been spending its money on the Ukraine and transporting equipment and deploying U.S. troops to Europe. So right now, that money is being paid from the Army's Europe and Africa Command. And without a 2024 budget approved by Congress, and without additional funding specifically for Ukraine, the command has roughly only $3 billion to pay for $5 billion of operational costs. A second senior Army official explained this, and that includes not only operations related to the Ukraine support, training and ferrying weapons and equipment to Poland and Ukraine, but other operations for the U.S. command throughout Europe and Africa. So we, sitting here in their posh offices and dicking around with impeaching people, are not getting the job done in our Congress. So if Congress still hasn't passed new funding for Ukraine in the next few months, the Army will have to make tough decisions. They'll have to start diverting money from less critical projects like building barracks or enlistment incentives, because recruiting is right now at a very low number. The Army is not getting recruits like they used to. So if Congress keeps screwing around, The army is going to continue to use its money in defense of Ukraine, and soon they will be broke. Now, the army and the armed services and the Navy and the Air Force is one of the places that Congress never argues with the money that they have to spend. They are always well taken care of. But this Congress has put them in an untenable position that they, the army, the officials, the leaders, recognize the disaster that Ukraine is facing, and they have stepped forward and spent their funding on something that Congress should have been taken care of. So we look at this and we don't recognize the fact that this Congress has put the defense of this nation in danger because of their stupidity and their lack of feeling for continuing to aid Ukraine. It was not important to disappear for 2 weeks right now. It was very important to take action on the bill that the Senate has passed. So what is they going to do when it comes time to fund again? Are we going to be looking at a crazy situation? Is this country going to be on the verge of shutdown because of the way the Congress is going to apportion money? So as far as the Army is concerned, if they don't get a base budget, and if we don't get Ukraine supplemental funding, and the government shuts down, we have nothing else, and nothing changes. And the Army will run out of operations and maintenance funding in May. So that's the situation. Then I'm sure that Congress hasn't been paying any attention to this. I'll bet you those meatheads in Congress didn't know that the Army was spending its money on the Ukraine. And if we, in our ignorance, allow the Army to be put in a position where they can't pay for contracts on time, and they will be attacked with penalty fees and things like that, what's Congress going to do? Are they going to stand up and tell the nation that they made a terrible mistake and they didn't know what they would do? Because it's obvious to me that if the Army is spending the kind of money they're spending on defending the Ukraine, Congress should have known, somebody in Congress should have known and said, hey, this is stupidity, we got to take action here. But these people in Congress are blind and dumb. Congress has put our national security at risk. And what do? They take off for 2 weeks. And I'm aggravated about this entire situation. My son served this country for 23 years in the Navy. So I have great feelings for our military. And they are doing the right thing, and Congress is not. So I leave you with that this morning. Have a great day. Bye.